Oh, I see you want to go hard with it. I said, hello, everybody!
Hello!
I am here now. So it's time to wake up. Well, they say that public speaking is the number one fear. So it's eye of the tiger, and then you get up here and you feel like a little kitty cat, right? Not me! Because I have spent my entire life with my inner winner stuck inside of me. You know that feeling where you're in a room and it's quiet, right? So the etiquette is for everyone to sit and have posture and be calm. But inside you're like, yeah, I want to move! But you can't do that, can you? No, you can't. They do that to you when you're a child in school. They say, sit down, be quiet. A child really is to be seen and not heard. But what happens to the child when she grows up to be an adult? It's stuck inside of you. And you're just going around being postured. But inside, there's a party. There's always a party going on inside. And that's what's happening to you, the leaders, and to your employees. So what you have to do is you have to pull out the inner winner in your employees. They're all just trees stuck inside of little seeds. I know, you saw their resume and you were like, oh my gosh, they're amazing. They're talented, they're gonna come in, they're gonna do amazing things. And then you're like, what is wrong with Lisa? What is wrong with Bob? I thought that you were this amazing person. You know what's happened? Is that it's stuck inside of them. It is compressed and compressed with life because what you hired was a person. A person. Do you know what people go through? They go through a whole lot before they get to work with you. And all you want is a transaction. You want work. But do you know that it's stuck inside of them? That work is children and spouses and traffic and oh me, oh my. It's stuck inside. I didn't know about this inner winner thing until I decided I was going to do karaoke. I'm class clown 1998. You know, always been a loud, bubbly personality, and I love to sing and entertain. So, of course, I'm just going to get up there and I'm going to do my thing. So, I get in, and I say, oh, my God, look at all these people. And then there's a lady up there just singing her hair out. Oh, my gosh, it was horrible. I said, oh, I'm going up there. I'm going up there. This is my chance. I had my song in my head. I said, I'm going to do Proud Mary. Yes, I've been watching Tina Turner, and I'm going to get up there, and I'm going to do it. And so I'm with my boyfriend. He's like, you going up there? I said, yes, I am. I'm getting ready to go up there. Just give me a minute. Give me a minute. And inside of me, I'm like, we never do anything nice and easy. But I'm sitting there all calm. I don't know why I can't move. I'm like, inside there's a party going on. But I'm sitting there. And I said, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go up. And the night went on and went on and went on. And I never went. So we were on the cruise ship. And at the end of the night, they come in and they say, everyone that participated in karaoke tonight, and there were some horrible acts, is going to perform in front of the entire ship with makeup and costume. And I was like, I'm supposed to be in front of everybody. I'm Tina. I am Tina. But I ended up sitting in the audience when I belonged on the stage. And that's what's happening to you. This is what's happening to your employees because they don't know how to unleash their inner winner. You sit in meetings, you have something to say, and you don't say it. There's a full conversation. I know exactly what we need to do to improve healthcare. All we have to do is, and you say nothing. Why? Because you don't realize that your gifts and your talents and your abilities are all absolutely necessary because you have a purpose. You are not just enough. You are necessary. But your employees don't know that because it's just a transaction. We need you to work and just do what you're told. No, they're people, and they want to know that they matter. So if you want to improve the health of your employees, you have got to connect them to their purpose. If you don't know what your purpose is, then you won't know that you're necessary. You won't open up your mouth and speak. The answers that we're all seeking, they're trapped inside of someone. Who is it? Oh, okay, you guys want to act like I'm going to just stand up here by myself. Who has the answer? We done got on a plane in the weather. Ohio doesn't have a sun. And you want to sit through a conference? I knew you. You knew I'd come to you. Who has the answer? Don't try to not give me eye contact. This is like school. Do you have the answer? Because what a bird is going to come and fly by and say, here's the answer that we've all been looking for. Is that what's going to happen? Or is it going to come through a person? I can't hear you. It's going to come through a person. There is someone with the answer, but it's locked inside. They don't have the courage. Why? Because that's not my department. It's not my job. The last time I said something, they tried to shut me down. I will never say anything again. You don't pay me enough. You gave such and such the promotion over me, so I'm not telling you anything. Someone has the answer. But if you don't let people know that you have a purpose in this organization, that you are absolutely necessary, if you don't find out what their overall purpose is, see what's on that resume? They wrote to fit the job description. They needed a job. But purpose goes beyond the job. It's what you were created to do. Birds were built with flight. Fish were built with swim. What were you built with? That's what you want to find out so that you can get it out of the people that you serve. Because I promise you, they say public speaking is the greatest fear. I believe being seen and heard is the greatest fear. What did Marianne Williamson say? She said, our fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. I know that day I was on that ship, everything was going inside of me. It was big, it was loud, but I couldn't let it out. I couldn't let it out because it took me back to when I was in high school. See, I was always the professional new kid, always. The cliques were already established and the girls were not trying to be my friend. And I got used to it. But I finally stayed stable my last year. And I said, okay, Natalie, all right, we're going to be normal. We're going to get girlfriends. And then the cool kids let me in. No, the cool ones, the cheerleaders. And they let me be their friend. And I said, okay, oh my God, we're going to be normal. And you know, there's always a queen bee. And she wasn't too sure about me, but she still let me in. So one day we all go to this church. She's like, you want to go? I'm like, I think I'm free. Yeah, I think I can do it. And we go to this church to audition for this singing show. And so the queen bee gets the lead, and then the rest of us are in the background. So she goes, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. And then we go, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. She goes, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. We go, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. She goes, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. And then I go, shoo-wop, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. And everyone turns and looks at me. Girl, we didn't know you could sing. I was like, me either. They said, she's going to say shoo-wop, shoo-wop. And then Natalie is going to ad-lib. And then we're all going to come in. And it's just going to be amazing. And I'm like, I'm so cool right now. I'm with the cool people. Yes, let's do it. But the queen bee, she gave me a look. I didn't know what that look meant, but I said, don't worry, we're cool. I'm not going to mess this up for us. We're cool. We have friends now. Don't you worry about me. So the day of the show comes, and she says, shoo-wop, shoo-wop. And I go to the microphone. And nothing comes out. Nothing. See, what I didn't realize was that when she gave me that look that said, don't you dare outshine me, who gave you permission to be great? I said, don't worry. I don't know where that thing came from, but I'm not going to let that thing mess up what we have going on. I'm going to fit in. I'm going to be normal. And so when it came time to speak up, I didn't, because I didn't want the attention anymore. I didn't want what it cost me. And I know that your employees feel the same way. I know that some of you feel the same way. That's why we can't get the answers. That's why we keep going to work bored. Everyone's bored, including you. That's why you're sitting here looking at me like, why are you so happy? What could possibly be so good about your life? And guess what? It's because I am free. And I'm free now more than ever because I met this woman. This is Wilma. They're both Wilma. But the Wilma that I met was hopeless. See, she came into the city of refuge where I teach the homeless women and those rescued from sex trafficking how to live an intentional life. And she walked into my classroom with her head down. I didn't even know what she looked like. And as I'm jumping around and I'm talking about, this is not your end, this is a comma. Your sentence isn't over. You're just beginning. Your comeback has been scheduled. You can do anything. Yes, you can fly. And her head stayed down. Everyone else is like, yes, yes. And I'm like, no man left behind. No, this is not about me. This is about that one person right there. And her head was down. And I said, okay, I gotta switch it up. Okay, yeah, you can do all things, but sometimes you just don't feel like it. You're wondering, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why? And her head started to come up just a little bit. Every time I said, why, her head came up just a little bit. And then she spoke. She said, I don't know why this is happening to me. I have done everything they told me to do. My whole life, I've been a good person. But I have stage 3 metastatic cancer. My left breast is gone. My hair is gone. My teeth, gone. Why me? And I said, but you still have your life. You still have your voice. I hear you. I see you. I get it. I get it. But what are you going to do? You still have life. You still have a voice. But if you keep your head hung low, you won't be here much longer. Because there's nothing to see down there. And with your head hung low, people will feel sorry for you. I don't want anyone to feel sorry for me. Good, because I don't. I don't feel sorry for you. Because we're going to work with what you still have, which is your life and purpose. Use your voice to encourage others, but it's going to start with you. It's going to start with you. So what are you going to do? See, she was so used to, I'm praying for you and God's will and all this other stuff. She was not expecting for me to say, you are full of purpose. What are you going to do with it? See, you have to change the narrative for some people. They're so stuck in what's happening to them because I'm not a physician, but I know that when people, they make themselves sick, literally, just thinking about their problems. And do you know when they walk into your organization, whether you're a leader, whether you're an employee sitting right beside them, whether you're the janitor, the security guard, it doesn't matter. I see you. You matter. How are you? They walk in and it's like, hey, did you get that report I sent you? Hey, transaction. She's like, I've done everything for my daughter. I've done everything for my grandchildren, and I'm in a homeless shelter. I took care of my mother until her last breath. She died from Alzheimer's, and I'm taking care of mom while I'm changing my own bandages, and I am in a homeless shelter. But everyone in the shelter spoke so highly of her. I'm like, do you know things just happen because they just happen? You're hope to these people. And I know everybody wants to be a rock star. Everybody doesn't want to go through anything. But what are you going to use your experience to do? Die? I'm like, if you want to die with a full tank, that's on you. But I know if they come in to repossess my car, I'm going to go drive all around because you will not get a free gas tank on me. No, you won't. So I said, my job and your job is to teach them to get their minds off of their problems. You thought that you were an HR representative and you were a leader and all that other stuff and that you were just going to lead. No. You are life coaches. You are therapists, psychologists. You're people. You're people. You're just people. Have a conversation with someone. Talk about something other than work to get to know your people. It's that simple. Because this Wilma and that Wilma are the same Wilma. It's the same seed with the tree in it. But you have to water it. That's your responsibility, is just to water. But what you're doing is making your jobs harder. You're going to delegate anything that you don't have to do, you need to delegate it to someone else. You should be having so much fun just getting to know your people and making things happen for them. That's it. That's all you need to do. But you want to work. See, she's been working her whole life, just working herself to the bones. That's not going to work. The next thing is, you want to improve the health of your employees, you have to introduce them to their potential. Because this is who you hire. The seed, the hopelessness, the person with the life, with the problems. You hire the Natalie that's sitting on the sidelines, but inside of her, she has a Tina Turner in her that can do some things, but she's sitting. This is the employee that you create, because potential is ever growing. It doesn't end. But we get so stuck in our last success that it's like, I did great, and you get stuck there. There's some people, some of you, I won't point you out, it's okay. But there's some of you and some of your employees that have been in the same position and they're dying there. You need to find out what is their next. What do you need to do next? But a lot of us, what we do is we ride our top performers and then we wonder why they're sick and why they're tired and why they don't love what they do anymore. You have to create the employee that you want. That's it. You have to create the employee. Or this is what you're going to go to work with every day. That's what you want? Is that what you want? That's a question. Like a live question. That's not what you want. That's not who you want to be. You have to create the employee. And you know how you do that? You create a relational environment. That's what care is, right? You create a relational environment. So you guys think you're just going to stand up here just looking at me like, isn't public speaking the fair? So why are you guys just looking at me? It's not fair. Okay, that's why I'm going to put you to work. Everybody stand up. We're going to create a relational environment right now. I want you to get out of your seat. Yes, this is like going department to department because everybody likes to be so cliquish, just like the little cheerleaders that didn't want me in their little group. So what I want you to do is I want you to go and say hi to someone. Hey, Dennis.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I am wonderful. It's so good to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Well, what brought you here?
Oh, the conference is always great.
It's always great. So this isn't your first time?
It's not.
Oh, wonderful. So let's go meet some people. Come on, Dennis.
All right.
All right, everybody, go around and talk. Tell them something about yourself. Don't talk business. Tell them your favorite color. Tell them you're allergic to peanuts. Tell them something. Hey, how are you?
Natalie, great to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you.
Yep.
I need you to say more than, hey, how are ya? I want you to tell them what it is that you're doing now and what you want to do in the future. Get to know the people in the room. Hey, what are you doing standing there? All right, move on to somebody else. If the conversation was good, you can talk later. Move on to somebody else. And don't forget to mention how amazing the speaker is. You can't leave that out of your conversation. Move on to somebody else. That's what we do. We like to get comfortable with that one person, those two people, and you miss connecting with other people. Move on to the next person. Hi, I'm Natalie. Melody, very nice to meet you. Thank you. Have you been doing photography forever? You love it? You love it. And you're really good at it too. You better. You better. You are the best. And that dimple is everything. Thank you. All right, move on to somebody else. Yep, go talk to somebody else. Come talk to me. Come and say hi. Hello. How are you? I'm a hugger. Is that okay? Hi. All right. Very nice to meet you. Where are you from?
I'm from United Healthcare.
Okay. We did. I know, my mic is on.
It's okay. I figured you talked to a lot of people today.
No, I remember you. My mic is on. So who's this? Come on over here. Let me introduce you to my boy Rock. Is it Rock or Rocky? Rocky. Nice to meet you. One of our proud sponsors. Hey, Kimberly. Hi, very nice to meet you as well. You enjoying the amazing speaker?
Yeah, she's awesome.
Is she awesome?
She makes me want to get up and yell and dance.
Yes, I'm going to come and get you. All right, everyone, make it back to your seats. I know. Make it back to your seats or I am going to pull you on the stage in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You see how relational we are? And you see how you got to threaten people to get them to do stuff? But do you notice what just happened? The energy in the room changed, am I right? There was energy in the room, right? That's what happens when we come together. That's what happens when we come together. And if we were to give a topic, a specific topic to discuss, such as healthcare and how we can improve it, then the ideas will start flying. Innovation, ideas, everything will come to the surface. But we're so busy not being relational that when we do have a chance to be relational, we talk about everything other than what we need to talk about. Because we really just need to be seen and heard, and finally we can express. I promise you, someone was just about to start telling you about their grandchildren and knitting and everything. But we have to create a relational environment. When I worked for Verizon Telephone Company, I was a top sales consultant. And so I trained the new hires. And it was about 8 new hires, and everyone became a top sales consultant. So they said, we're going to give her a team of 25 consultants. And so it was at a time where the office was going through reorganization. And so being a top seller, I knew when the stakes were high, my team leader would always come to me and would say, hey, I need you to sell more. I need you to do more. I need you to, and it was always like, okay. But then it started to suck the fun out of the work. And And so when they were doing the reorganization, of course, everyone wants to go for the top sellers and the ones that I trained. I'm like, why don't you pick the ones you trained? Oh, I know why, because you ain't trained them, right? And so I said, you know what? You guys have at it. Just give me all the low performers, underperformers. And they took me literally. They left me the bottom of the bottom. I had all of the FMLA cases. I had all of the bottom sellers. I had the people that if we were giving something away for free, they would talk the customer out of getting it. Those people. And so I had to figure out what to do. And you know what? The same way that I am with you all today, you're just getting Natalie. This is Natalie. I learned to be Natalie and then just took Natalie into everything I did. I am crazy. So I just became crazy for my people, and it caused them to perform. So all of the bottom sellers, I would say, okay, guys, we have something to prove. The name of our team was Mission Possible. And we would always go against the good sellers. And so Mission Possible always felt defeated, like there's no way. And I said, we can do whatever we want. We're gonna just learn the numbers. We're gonna study the numbers. And so that worked for a little while. But do you know what helped? I would walk in on contest days in a red suit. And they were like, oh, she means business. And I would walk to my cubicle and I say, we're gonna win today. We're gonna win today. And they're like, okay. And so when it would be 15 minutes before the midday results came out, I would get them hyped. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're on fire! We're on fire! We are going to win! We have 15 minutes! Come on, you can do it! Come on! They're like, shh, I got a customer. I'm like, okay. And then when we would get the update and we would be at top, I had the red suit on, right? I was like, we're really on fire! Stop, drop, and roll! Stop, drop, and roll! And I would roll down the aisle, and the numbers would go up. Why? Because they wanted to see me roll on the ground. So I literally became an entertainer for them. That's it. And I would ask them how their children are doing. And I would ask them if they're okay. And when they would come into my office crying because they only have one opportunity to be absent again before they're putting on some type of written notice, or it might be where they lose their job or something, and I would just ask them, what do you want to do? You just have to make a decision. That's it. But all I did was create a relational environment with energy and with conversation and laughter. Are we going to talk about health care without talking about the simplicity of the fact that laughter is medicine? If you want to cut costs, laugh with your people. So everybody right now, we're gonna laugh. Ready, set, go. You're not laughing. Ready? Ha, 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 ha. Everyone laugh. Ah. Oh, I gotta roll again. You're just like those people. Did my wig fall off? You have to laugh. You have to have energy, and you crack yourself up. If y'all are not having a good time, you are missing out, because I am using all my deodorant right now. Okay. The bottom line is that when you create an environment that is relational, people really buy into the notion that they're necessary. Necessary is we are all in here just a part of a big old barbecue. Everybody wants to be the big ribs, but how are you going to be the ribs without the charcoal and the grill and the sauce and the plates and something to wash it down with and the cup? Some people are just the salt. And we cannot belittle the salt, because the salt is just as necessary. Everyone in here is a 10. Whether you feel like it or not, you are a 10. Your inner winner is pre-programmed 10. Your purpose has already been predestined for you. You're just living it out. But when you suppress it, you start to believe your external experiences versus your internal convictions. Because what happens is you sabotage your success by not being great, by not speaking up, by not just letting that note come out of you. Who knows who I could be today, who you could be today if somebody heard your note? Do you know how I got on the professional speaking circuit? I won a speaking contest. I had no PowerPoint. I had no speech. I had humor. I had something to say because I have read so many books, every personal development, leadership book you can think of. And I just opened my mouth and I just stood in an authentic space. And I was just me. And it was the first time in my life I had ever won anything just for being me. And now I'm addicted to being me. I can't even turn it off. It's like oxygen. I spent my whole life going from school to school to school, being someone else. Literally, guys, literally. So I would be in a school and I'd be me, whoever I was at that time, and they would reject me. And so I would go to the new school looking at who was cool in the old school and become the cool person at the new school. So if the cool person was really hard and in your face, I was hard and in your face. And then they rejected me. One time they jumped me. So I didn't do that one anymore. But I would do that, and then I would go from that school and it'd be like, the other person is just like really like cool. And so I would be really like cool, and they would reject me there too. And then I would go over here and I would just be like really nerdy and dorky, and they didn't like that either. And then I just forgot one day to be something and showed up as myself. And I said something funny, and they started laughing. I said, oh, okay. We're going to go with this one for a little while. And then I started realizing that regardless of who I choose to be, everyone's not going to like me. And guess what? I'm not here for everyone. I am like a specialty item. I'm more for the vegans, if you get what I mean. And some people are for the meat lovers. Some people are here are like, she is crazy. Where is the survey, right? And some people are like, oh my gosh, she is amazing. Those are the people I'm talking to. because I can't convince you, right? I cannot convince you because I'm just not for you. And you know what? Some of your employees, you're just not for them. And I know we want to keep certain people on our team, but if you don't have the code to activate someone, then they're not for you. And so sometimes you need to build relationships with the other leaders and stop trying to be so competitive and say, look here, you want to switch? You know, it's kind of like playing cards. I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and it'll be mutual. And see how that seed flourishes in a different environment, a different department. If you put me behind a computer and try to get me to do anything, administrative, you will not get the best of me. It will suck the life out of me. If I cannot flap these lips, I am a communicator. And if I cannot communicate, I literally cannot breathe. You know, people are in relationships and they want to be passive aggressive and all that other stuff. I don't need to be right or wrong. I just need to say something. That's how I am. I have to speak. So if you try to put me in an administrative job, I will die, literally die. Miss Wilma was playing a role in her life that was sucking the energy out of her. I knew that if I didn't get her, she was going to die. And when CBS 46 did a story on us a couple of months back, she said, I used to sit at the bus stop every day and say, the next bus that comes, I'm going to jump in front of that bus. But this is Miss Wilma on December the 8th at my one-woman show. This is her, the same woman that was laying down hopeless and contemplating not even being here anymore. Since I've taken her in, it's been about a year and a few months now, she hasn't had any chemo. She hasn't had any radiation. She just had a blood transfusion on the 8th of February, and she goes to the gym every single day. She gets up, she goes out, and the doctors, when she goes for her visits, they're like, you look great. I mean, she got little cuts in her arms and stuff. I'm like, I need to get my life together. But she gets up every day, the same woman who didn't want to live. I've introduced her to her purpose. I've introduced her to her potential. Entertained her. We laugh all the time. And I tell her every day, I don't care if you have cancer because you woke up today. So cancer has to take a back seat. Those are the rules. And why? Because I ask myself, what do I need to do every single day to remind you that you are necessary? That you are necessary. You're necessary. Not that you're matter, not that you're enough, you're necessary. Like if you were not here, something would be missing. But we don't do that. When our employees don't show up, we're sitting like, oh yeah, they just need 2 more strikes and they're out of here. They're not here today. Hey, everybody, it's a great day. No. You are necessary. When you don't show up, you messing with my numbers. That's how you feel. But then you have to be a person. You have to say, why would you not show up to the job that feeds your family? Why? Why? That question, why, has rung through my entire being ever since Miss Wilma said, why? if you don't know why, it's that question that just is haunting you over and over again. Why? Why? And it needs to haunt you. Why do my people not want to show up to work? Why? Oh, well, they're grown. They're making decisions for themselves. If they don't want to be a part of this company, then they can go somewhere else. No. They have a Tina Turner inside of them. You got to wake them up. You got to get them connected. You're necessary. You are necessary. The last thing is personal responsibility. I said to you all before, you are working way too hard. I don't know why, because work is not fun at all. And we need to stop calling work work so people will show up. We need to call it something else. So, personal responsibility is this simple. Self-care is health-care, period. Take care of yourself. Why aren't you taking care of yourself? Look at your employees. Look at your posture. When you walk in, you're not okay. If you're leaned over, there's nothing down there for you. Self-care is health-care. If all you are doing is working because you just want that next promotion, you are killing yourself slowly. If you are neglecting your family so that you can get to the next level, you are killing yourself slowly. If all you do is work, you are killing yourself slowly. And John Maxwell says it best. Everything rises and falls with leadership. So if you aren't taking care of yourself, if you're not providing a work-life balance, if you are not taking the time to put the oxygen mask over yourself first, then how can you in all integrity tell your people to do that? You got to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. You have got to go to work, take care of your family, and guess what? Get a life. Do something that you love to do. We have artists in here. We have musicians in here. We have photographers in here, event planners. We have people that can save your organization thousands of dollars. Thousands. One of my favorite movies is Forrest Gump. How many people have seen Forrest Gump? Oh, you're missing life if you haven't seen Forrest. And so, one time, Jenny hurts his feelings so bad. She leaves Forrest, and Forrest is sitting on the steps with his feelings hurt. And he says, internally, because that's where your winner is, I'm just gonna go running. That's what I'll do. I'm just gonna go running, 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 running. Y'all see that posture in them heels? And then somebody comes along and says, hey, are you doing it for world peace? I just felt like running. And he ran, and people started following him. And then one time, a guy came up to him, and they were like, hey, my business was going out, and he wiped his face, and the smiley face came on it. And he started a business. Forrest just felt like running. His heart was broken. And he could no longer pretend. So he did what he needed to do for himself. Are you doing what you need to do for yourself? I asked Miss Wilma that day, what do you want? Because you have two options: live or die. But cancer doesn't get to take you out. You get to choose And her face, she looked at me like I was crazy. I said, cancer will not get credit for your life. You get to choose, what do you want? And she later told me that that was the question that woke her up out of her darkness. What do you want? No one had ever asked her, what do you want? Go and ask your family, go and ask your employees, what do you want? So are you all ready to unleash your inner winner? That's Miss Wilma in New York. I took her on a road trip to New York. She had never been. She had hot dogs. She had pizza. She went to, we did it all. Because I asked her, what do you want? And she said she wanted to live. I said, well, let's go live then. She didn't have enough gas in her tank, right? So sometimes you gotta go out, you gotta do stuff with your team, you gotta get out of the mundane, you gotta pump life back into people. But it starts with you. Self-care is health care. You are the pitcher that pours into others, and you cannot give out of your lack and expect to fill other people up. Take care of yourself as leaders. Leadership is important. It is necessary. You are necessary. So everybody stand to your feet. Gosh, you guys are energized and enthusiastic. And say, I am necessary. Now say it like you mean it. Close your eyes for a moment. I want you to think about your family, the people that you serve. And I want you to say, I am necessary. I want you to say it to yourself. I am necessary, because this is not about anybody else. This is about you. I am necessary, and if I don't take care of myself, I will not be there for my children. I will not be there for my spouse. I will not be there for my best friend. I am necessary. I'm necessary to this organization. I am necessary to this association, to this conference. I am not just a bystander, a participant. I am necessary. There's someone in here I need to connect with. There's someone in here that needs to hear me. There's someone in here that I am the sauce to their ribs. All together on 3, I am necessary. 1, 2, 3. I am necessary. And I am Natalie Fikes. Have a good one. Thank you.